I'm Mike. Nice to meet you. My wife and I are sick of apartment living. We want to buy a house, raise a family in, but we're kind of on a budget. Got anything you can show me?
Got just the thing for you.
All right, let's see what you got.
Let's have a look. So I have this one here in Fraser.
All right, I like Fraser, but I don't know, this house is a little too small. We want to have a dog, a lot of kids. What else do you got?
I have this one here in St. Clair Shores.
St. Clair Shores is nice, but I don't really want to be by the water, all those fish flies. Anything else?
I have this one here in Rochester Hills.
Rochester Hills, nice community, but I'm really not impressed with their government there, so I don't know if that's going to work for me. Let me do this. Let me take these home, talk to my wife, and we'll see. Do you have a card I can call you?
Absolutely. There you go.
All right, I'll call you on my phone as soon as I find something. All right?
Right.
Okay, Rich. Nice meeting you. Okay, what about this house in Warren?
The one with the pink garage, pass.
All right, well then what do you recommend?
Look at this one in Troy.
All right, Troy's a nice community, don't get me wrong, but I really want to make Macomb my home. Oh, what is this? Very nice. Christina, wake up. Look at this.
What time is it?
Oh, it's the middle of the night, but look what I found.
That looks amazing. Where is that?
Sterling Heights.
Oh, we gotta call Rich.
Gotta call him. Is it too late?
Might be, but we have to try.
Ten voicemails.
Rich, Mike here. I found a house. Call me. Rich, it's perfect. Sterling Heights, call me back. Rich, I need this house. If I don't get it, Rich, it's perfect. Sterling Heights, call me back.
Hi, it's Rich. Mike, I was just about to call you. What'd you guys think?
I absolutely loved it. I can't imagine living anywhere else.
I did too. I love the house. I love the neighborhood. I love the community. I love Sterling Heights. I do think we need to change the color of that door though.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, we'll see. But Rich, how long after we move in until I can run for the city council here in Sterling Heights? Look no further. I'm home. Good morning, good morning. Thank you for being here and welcome to the 2024 State of the City Address for the City of Sterling Heights. First and foremost, again, thank you for being here and thank you for letting me take you back to 2008 for a minute. And that's a true story. That's what I looked like back in 2008 as a fresh-faced, clean-shaven 24-year-old. No gray hairs at the time. I would wear those Docksider shoes and cargo shorts, the Tigers jersey with the backwards hat. By the way, go Tigers. How about our Tigers? Those weird sunglasses too, and I want to thank my wife Christina, who's here today, who helped me put that outfit together and assembled that for me. And most importantly, thank you to Christina for marrying me, even though I looked like that back then. With no fashion sense, I probably still don't have any. But today I'm here to talk to you about my love for the city of Sterling Heights and the love that so many others have, whether they're residents, employees, volunteers, stakeholders. So many people love this community. Now, my love for Sterling Heights started in the middle of the night, one Saturday in March of 2008. After weeks or months of house hunting, I was up late, just like in the video, when I expanded my search to include homes in Sterling Heights. And around 2 in the morning one night, I found the perfect home on Kensington Avenue in Sterling Heights. Went to my bedroom, woke Christina up, told her we found our home. And this is it. Early the next morning, we met with our real estate agent. A couple hours later, we made an offer, and eventually that was accepted. Purchase was completed on May 5th, 2008, which coincidentally was my 25th birthday, and it was the day I took my last law school exam. So it was a momentous day in ways that really I couldn't have even anticipated at that time. And so began the Taylor's love of this great community that we call home. Speaking of love, if I had to guess, I would say that there have been more words written about love than probably any other emotion or topic. Throughout human history, love has inspired countless letters, lyrics, songs, poems, books, and even this State of the City address. Author Gary Chapman, in his best-selling book, The 5 Love Languages, describes love languages that we all speak in our relationships with our partners and spouses. They are words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and gifts. Certainly this applies in our relationships, but I think it applies beyond just relationships with people. I think it can and should apply to our relationships with the place that we call home. Now, I want to read for you a passage from my first State of the City back in 2016. This is a quote. "I believe in cities. I believe cities are part of our identity. Cities are where we are born, where we grow up, where we go to school, where we choose to live and start a family. Cities are our home. Your city is more a part of your identity than you probably know. If I travel through Michigan and say I was in Petoskey or Traverse City or Kalamazoo or Grand Rapids or Ann Arbor, Detroit or Birmingham, you instantly create an image in your head of that city. When I say Sterling Heights, what image comes to mind? What definition comes to mind? That is the challenge I'm most excited about addressing." That was 2016. That was the challenge we gave ourselves in 2016. And so for these past 8 years, we've all worked together to define and shape the identity of Sterling Heights. And I think that starts with our shared love for this place. Let me take you back in time. So back in 2018, Sterling Heights celebrated 50 years as a city. For 130 years before that, we were known as Sterling Township. And for about 3 years in the 1830s, we were known as Jefferson Township. But our history began long before then. Earlier this year, city officials unveiled a new Michigan historical sign at Heritage Junior High, marking the location of Holcomb Beach. Evidence of human settlements dating as far back as 10,000 years ago were discovered right at the corner of present-day 16 Mile and Dodge Park. I imagine those early settlers building prehistoric communities on this land all those thousands of years ago, and how we, today, continue that work of building our community. As I said in 2016, it's important for the city to be intentional about our image and brand, and it's important to tell the story of Sterling Heights to a broader audience. This past year, Sterling Heights embarked on a marketing and branding campaign known as Look No Further. We spoke with countless residents, business owners, and other stakeholders to find out what they love about Sterling Heights. We also went out into the community to find ordinary people doing extraordinary things. What we found was that we have so many talented residents doing interesting, creative, and meaningful work. Look No Further is our way of amplifying those stories and encouraging people beyond our city borders to see Sterling Heights for what it is: a safe, vibrant, healthy community with countless venues and opportunities for people to come together, recreate, shop, dine, advance their education, and improve their quality of life. It's a place full of opportunity, a welcoming city. And the stories that have been shared are the words of affirmation that our residents love Sterling Heights. I want to highlight one such resident right now named Alex Delavan. Now, Alex Delavan is not that man. That's Chris Farley. That's comedian Chris Farley playing motivational speaker Matt Foley on Saturday Night Live back in the 1990s. And if you're familiar with this picture, to me it's one of the most memorable Saturday Night Live skits of all time because of Chris Farley's iconic catchphrase. Or if you remember, he motivated kids to stay on the straight and narrow because if they didn't, join in with me, they'd be living in a van down by the river. Now back then, Chris Farley said it as if living in a van down by the river was something to be avoided. But one Sterling Heights resident took that phrase literally, and I want you to hear his story and see how he did it out of love for his community. Meet Alex Delavan.
I moved to Sterling Heights in 2009. I grew up in a small town, and it doesn't feel like a small town. I've lived in big towns, and it doesn't feel like a big town. It doesn't feel like the suburbs, it just feels perfect. Fall of 2020, during the pandemic, I got a job in Lansing, and I didn't want to move away from Sterling Heights. I love Lansing, it's where I grew up, but I wanted to stay here. I was looking at rent prices, they were going sky high. I didn't want to make that hour-and-a-half commute every day, so I decided, hey, let's just get a van and live in the van 3 days a week so I can live wherever I want in Lansing and still stay here in Sterling Heights. So I grew up in the mid-Michigan music scene. I helped with an underground music venue in Lansing. I owned a record label. I worked for A&R for Simon Cowell's record label at one point. One of the best things about Sterling Heights is where we are located. And here in Sterling Heights, we have great venues. I've been to shows at Rogers Roost, many other venues in small places. Of course, we have Sterling Fest here, and it's something to look forward to every year. And just the level of artists that we get here is wonderful. The fact that it's free and it's accessible for everyone is just fantastic. Look no further than Sterling Heights.
So Alex lived out of his van 3 days a week in Lansing because he did not want to give up his home here in Sterling Heights. Now that is what I call commitment to community. And I don't blame him. I'm biased, but Sterling Heights is consistently ranked as one of the best communities around. Once again, Sterling Heights was named as the safest big city in Michigan and one of the safest big cities in the United States. Sterling Heights also remains one of the most affordable cities to live in. It was recently ranked amongst the best cities for first-time homebuyers as well. And our city staff have been recognized for their excellence in service far and wide. Our city clerk, Melanie Risco, was recently named president of the statewide City Clerks Association. Our police department recently received accreditation, which is reserved for the top departments nationally. Our fire department has been ranked by the Insurance Services Office as one of the top departments in the state of Michigan. Our library and parks and so many other departments have recently received recognition as being among the best in the state. And just this past year, Councilwoman Barb Zarko received the prestigious Jim Sinclair Award from the Michigan Municipal League for her decades of public service. These words of affirmation, So these words of affirmation confirm that it's not just our residents who love the work we're doing here in Sterling Heights, but many outside the community are taking note as well. And I know I speak for our city council when I say we are proud of the work that we've done and the recognition that this great community has received. But nothing is better than hearing directly from our own residents, like artist Wendy Popko.
I saw the possibilities of what my family could be a part of, and especially with all the new things, like the farmers market, when they built this all out, and then they, in the winter time it doubles as an ice rink, and the library, with their creative writer groups and the free programs that they offer there and art programs that they offer there. There's just so much going on in our community that once I kind of saw that, it was look no further, right?
That's what I say, look no further indeed. Thank you, Wendy. The second love language being highlighted today is quality time. Now, quality time really needs no explanation. It's sort of self-explanatory, right? It's important in any relationship, including your relationship with your city, because residents need to feel a connection to their city and their community. And they do when they have ample opportunities to socialize with friends and neighbors, recreate, and enjoy the city's natural amenities. Our public library recently launched a unique and incredible way to spend quality time with your neighbors right here in Sterling Heights through its Human Library Initiative. The Human Library was an event hosted by the Library and Sterling Heights Community Alliance back in April, where instead of checking out books, you could check out people. Regular residents from Sterling Heights volunteered to be checked out. These included people living with disabilities, immigrants sharing their experiences as new Americans, residents who had struggled and defeated depression, addiction, or other mental health disorders, and other folks with varying backgrounds and experiences. These conversations are meant as a way of facilitating a better understanding between our neighbors, learning about the people in our community, and fostering a more welcome and opening city. The event reaffirmed our library's mission to educate in a creative and meaningful way, and a quality time was had by all. I'd like to take you back to my State of the City in 2016, my first one, just one more time. In 2016, I highlighted a very exciting initiative that was on the ballot for voters to decide. We called it Recreating Recreation. The Recreating Recreation initiative passed in 2016, and it has completely transformed the direction and identity of Sterling Heights. We wouldn't be in this room right now if it weren't for that. But there is more work to do. This year, voters will once again have the opportunity to shape the direction and identity of Sterling Heights. Voters will be asked to consider a modest millage increase that we are calling Pathways to Play and Preservation. The Pathways initiative is essentially a wish list of amenities that residents have been asking the city to provide for years. If passed, it would provide funding that would include funding for new trails, including a passive pathway through the city's beautiful nature preserve. The centerpiece of the proposal is a new state-of-the-art indoor pickleball facility for year-round use, helping to keep our pickleball-playing residents active and happy year-round. It also includes major improvements to Rotary Park at Utica and Hayes. City would construct and operate a canoe and kayak livery for residents to explore the Clinton River. Plans also include a connection to the old Belvedere Park, where decades ago, visitors from all around Metro Detroit came to dance and party. Major improvements to Red Run Park are planned as well, including a dog park, satellite library, fishing pier, and more outdoor pickleball courts. But this initiative goes just beyond park improvements. Funding is included for tens of thousands of new tree plantings in every corner of the city, including your neighborhood. The initiative would also include dedicated funding source for sidewalk improvements, eliminating the need for special assessments. And finally, the city would create a fund to purchase and preserve open green space for public use and enjoyment. Now, this proposal is in direct response to feedback we received from residents like you over the past several years. And it represents another way of providing the community with the opportunity to spend quality time here in Sterling Heights with friends and loved ones. Now, if it passes, Sterling Heights will have more trees, more open green space, better sidewalks and pathways, and improve on what I already believe to be the best parks and recreation facilities and programs in all of Michigan. Even without this proposal, we continue to invest in new trails, park improvements citywide. Take, for instance, the pathway shown here through the ITC corridor. Through a creative partnership with ITC, the city has identified this unusable green space as an opportunity to provide a new amenity for residents and visitors alike. Once completed, this pathway will connect Lakeside Mall to Dodge Park, giving residents new non-motorized options to traverse the city. We've updated signage, and we're currently improving pathways along the Clinton River as well. And at Delia Park, we recently installed a regulation-size cricket pitch that I'm told is among the best cricket pitches in the area. My council colleagues and I recently went to Delia Park and watched a weekend cricket match between competitors from Sterling Heights and as far away as Toledo. And of course, amenities like our weekly farmers market, patios and pints, and music in the park series continue to be attended by literally thousands of residents every week. And although I don't know how we do it, Sterling Fest seems to get bigger and better every single year. Connecting people to place is a key function of city government, in my opinion. We've worked hard to improve the non-motorized connectivity within the city, while also understanding that usually the best way to get from place to place is in your car. Now, over the past 10 years, the city has seen approximately $500 million in road improvements. Although massively inconvenient, road work is continuing right now on M53, which included the recently completed improvements to the Clinton River Road Bridge. And thanks to the help of Congressman John James, Sterling Heights recently received approximately $7.4 million in federal funding for improvements to Clinton River from one end of the city to the other. And of course, the very successful Innovate Mound project is finally nearing completion. Traveling along Mound Road has never been safer, easier, or more convenient. In partnership with communities bordering on M59 from Oakland County to Lake St. Clair, the city also recently received a grant from SEMCOG to study how we can better connect those communities along the M59 corridor and develop a roadmap to help protect the viability of M59 long into the future. We'll also be conducting a study along Ryan Road aimed at improving safety, calming traffic, and reducing speeding. And this year, we cut the ribbon on the first dedicated bike lanes in the city's history along Plumbrook Road. Now, this has to be my favorite road project of the past several years. These dedicated bike lanes improve safety for bicyclists and motorists, And it showed that infrastructure dollars can be spent on one project that both improves quality for motorists and non-motorists at the same time. When we talk about quality time, I don't think anyone associates that with being stuck in traffic in your car. But to be outside, on a bike, safely traveling through city streets, that is an amenity that was long overdue in Sterling Heights. So I encourage every active resident to come and see it for yourself and enjoy a nice ride along a beautiful stretch of Sterling Heights. Over these past 12 months, we've been focused on providing more and more opportunities for you to spend quality time in Sterling Heights, and I think it shows. Last year, you may recall, I spoke about the rise of artificial intelligence and how AI is becoming more and more integrated into our daily lives. Through this year's theme of our love for Sterling Heights and Sterling Heights' love for its people, I want to try to bring things full circle. While technological improvements are necessary and they must be embraced, the physical connection between people and place cannot be understated.
Well, initially I moved to Sterling Heights because it was further away from my job. So I wanted a place that looked peaceful, and I had investigated, and it was one of the safest cities. So I wanted to raise our children in a safe city. I can see myself playing with grandchildren here. Yeah, I really love Sterling Heights.
Carmen, I love Sterling Heights too, as you could probably tell. And that leads me to the third love language I want to talk about this morning, which is, this one is called physical touch. So, all right. This one is kind of self-explanatory too, and in the context of a relationship, I don't think I'm going to go any farther about that. But let me try to explain it this way, okay? Coming out of the COVID pandemic, many of our services were conducted virtually, and we did that out of necessity. I think the city did a great job, a tremendous job, delivering services without necessarily being present here at the community center or at City Hall. It worked well in an emergency, but we all know that people need that physical connection to feel a connection to their city. And there is no better alternative than genuine person-to-person interaction. As I said last year, while technology advances, cities have an incredible opportunity to harness those advancements to continue to improve the service delivery to their residents. And over the past year, the city has continued to innovate with an eye on improving the physical experience of our residents. This past year, in May, the city collaborated with Airspace Link to conduct a comprehensive drone readiness assessment. Airspace Link will help us identify opportunities for drone technology and integrate drone plans across all relevant city departments, including police, fire, planning, environmental monitoring, and economic development. City also implemented the use of AI-assisted cameras at Sterling Fest this year to identify and find missing children. I'm happy to report that these cameras helped reunite at least one child with their parents this year. And our fire department has been a leader in adopting technologies to keep residents safe and firefighters safe. This past year, the fire department installed the Haas alerting system on 3 of its vehicles. This digital messaging system is compatible with all vehicles made after 2018, and it notifies you when emergency vehicles are approaching or ahead. And our police department also continues to expand on the use of the very helpful Flock license plate reading cameras. Whether there's an Amber Alert, a car has been reported as stolen, these cameras can quickly scan license plates and alert the PD of the location of a potential perpetrator. Police Chief Dale Wojciechowski has reported that the Flock cameras have helped lead to the apprehension of several criminals who may have otherwise gone undetected. And at our library this past year, Director Tammy Turgeon expanded the very popular Makerspace. This updated room in the library is equipped with additional 3D printers, a laser cutter, and other machines to help unleash our residents' creativity. Each of these technologies is centered on improving the physical experience right here in Sterling Heights. Whether it's alerting drivers to an emergency vehicle, apprehending criminals, reuniting children with their parents, or just giving residents an opportunity to unleash their creativity, the goal is to improve the physical connection between our residents and the city that we call home. And we all know that technological improvements have made it easier for all of us to shop and dine without even leaving our home. Nobody knows that more than my 2 kids here, okay? But no matter how convenient technology makes it to never leave our home, they're asking for DoorDash right now, there's still a yearning for the physical connection of dining out with friends, browsing a store in person, and being physically connected, not just to your city, but to the business community as well. And for Sterling Heights, that starts with Lakeside Mall. For decades, Lakeside was more than just a shopping destination. Crowds packed the mall to see Santa, go ice skating, and even enjoy a fashion show. But as shopping habits have changed, and as sad as it may be for some, those days are gone. On July 1st of this year, Lakeside Mall closed its doors one last time.
For 48 years, Lakeside Mall has stood along Hall Road in Hayes, but come July 1st, Lakeside, as we know it, will be no more.
Yeah, the owners are closing the mall to make way for new
All
development.
right, in just a few days, it will be the end of an era for the Lakeside Mall. The doors will be closed for good on July 1st.
And it'll be turned into the Lakeside Town Center with retail, office, and residential space.
That's Lakeside City Center, Channel 7, but who's keeping track? In addition to the mall closing, the city and Lionheart have taken several big steps forward this year. As you heard from Tom, the plans before you are going to be before our Planning Commission and City Council this year. And we continue to make progress towards redeveloping the North Van Dyke Mixed-Use District. New apartments are under construction currently, and plans call for cultural attractions, including an amphitheater, shops, restaurants, and more. With close proximity to the Clinton River, this area of the city is teeming with potential for redevelopment. And it's not just apartments being developed. Single-family homes continue to be built in Sterling Heights, including a proposal that was approved earlier this month by the Planning Commission at Saul and Clinton River Roads. For the past 3 years, more than 700 residential units have been approved for construction in Sterling Heights. I know what Frank Viviano, Macomb Township Supervisor, that's like a good week in Macomb Township, but it's pretty good for us too here in Sterling Heights. It's very exciting to see the city expanding and welcoming new residents. It's validation that the work we are doing together is paying off. People want to be here. They want to shop here. They want to dine here. They want to recreate here. And most importantly, they want to live here. Businesses want to be in Sterling Heights too. And today, I have the honor of recognizing a couple of local Sterling Heights businesses who have been awarded by Connect Macomb with the Local Business of the Year and the Dream Big Business of the Year. This year's Local Business of the Year recipient is Duo Care Cleaning and Restoration. Led by brothers Joe and Mike DeVozo, Duo Care is committed to Sterling Heights. In fact, Joe is my neighbor, so I couldn't be more proud to congratulate Duo Care.
Duo Care is a family-owned cleaning company that services residential and commercial customers. We clean carpet, upholstery, tile and grout, wood floors, and we clean area rugs as well.
So we started back in 1980. It was a part-time thing. Just sat down with a yellow pad of paper and started writing things down. What could we possibly do? And checked them all off down to carpet cleaning. And it just seemed like something that we could get into for not a lot of money, and that's what we did.
Our mother was our first secretary. We just would pass out flyers door to door.
It was only Mike and I in one truck.
That's how we got our start. It was very simple.
We do something a lot of companies are afraid to do. The day after we do a job for a customer, somebody calls them back the next day and asks them, how did you like the job?
We just wanted to make sure you were happy with our service and our technicians.
We want to know these things. And other companies, quite frankly, they're afraid to do that because they don't want the problems that can come with that type of a phone call, because they could say, oh, well, there was this one spot in the upstairs bedroom that didn't come out, and we'll say, we'll come back out, but it's something that in our industry is not done. And we, in our customers constantly, we hear about that. We hear, I can't believe you guys called to find out how happy we were.
You could see in our mission statement up above here in the garage, quality, honesty, and integrity. If you do those things, we always felt like we needed to keep our standard high, and we're able to do that with our employees. They do what we want them to do.
Our technicians know if they don't do a good job, for whatever reason, they're going to go back out. It could be a problematic carpet. It could be a spot that'll never come out. But we will still come back out and attempt it.
We moved to Sterling Heights here, and we doubled our size. Half of our warehouse is dedicated to area rug cleaning only. Takes up a lot of our shop, so in order to do it the right way, we had to buy more equipment, so we needed a bigger facility, so that's why we're here in Sterling Heights.
We love Sterling Heights. It's such a, not only is it a central location, you know, it's easy to get anywhere from where we're at. We're at 19 in Merrill, and it's very easy to get places. But the community of Sterling Heights is wonderful. It's so diverse. We love the park systems. Like I said, I've been a resident for 30 years, and my kids went to school here. They grew up here. My daughter is now a Sterling Heights resident. So it's been a great place to call home, not only for myself, but now we have learned for our business. It's very easy to operate a business in this city.
Congratulations to Joe DeVozo, Mike DeVozo, and the entire team at Duo Care for being selected as the 2024 Local Business of the Year. Mike and Joe, I think you're both here. Where are you guys? Stand up and be recognized. Love to hear about businesses moving to Sterling Heights, and thank you to the DeVozo brothers. Now, this year we also saw businesses open and existing businesses expand in Sterling Heights. AGS Automotive cemented their commitment to Sterling Heights with a 400,000 square foot expansion. UTEC also expanded their footprint in Sterling Heights. Thieves Synetics consolidated their operations in Sterling Heights, and Red Wings legend Henrik Zetterberg opened a massive padel gym in Sterling Heights too. New restaurants Jollibee and Houston Hot Chicken opened on the Golden Corridor to much fanfare. And the Velocity Center continues to provide much-needed resources to local startups, like Imagio, which is housed at the Velocity Center. Imagio is an incredibly exciting company that took advantage of the resources made available at Velocity, and they just happen to be this year's Dream Big Local Business of the Year.
As a designer, working with Imagio was amazing. They make the process seamless to create the beautiful designs.
Customers really love the Imagio glass. It's very unique. It's a clean product. It's something different that you don't see everywhere, and they love what you can do with it.
Imagio, we are a designer, engineer, and manufacturer of architectural glass. We use it for residential and commercial applications. We developed a print-to-glass technology that took us about 3 years from the time we got into business, and finally got our certification, and we ended up hitting the road. So in that, we did home shows to get voice of customer. That would help us with our marketing, and at that point it was received very well, and we started building dealers around the country, mainly the east half of the country. And so we're currently shipping things to Florida, Texas, Arizona, Washington State, California, and other, even Hawaii. We've got one Hawaii. So with that, we've been expanding the line from, we really started in the home side, and now we're more into commercial businesses, corporate offices, that type of thing. Handling both at the same time. And we're doing everything from customized whiteboards for conference rooms, chair mats with logos on them, full feature walls that show off the product. A lot of times we're engaging in the design side, doing timelines of the business, the history, but some are large corporations and some are local spas, health spas. So we realized, hey, this is like paper. So we can create templates, we can cover the whole backsplash with the design, because we can customize designs, we can really get the customer what they're looking for. So our customers are phenomenal, and they support us, we support them all the way through. It's really a partnership. And people will ask from time to time, like, have you ever had one break? And it's like, no, in the whole career, we've never had one break. And I like to sum it all up by saying we get Christmas cards from our customers. Our product really creates an emotional experience is what it does. It's glass, it's bringing all the light from the room, throws it back at you, so it's a positive experience all the way through. There's no maintenance to it. I've been back to locations that we've installed, and 10 years later, and these things still are brand new. Getting the recognition, knowing that when you work in this all day long, it's just you, the customer, the product. You don't realize somebody else is watching, right? So being able to see that and exposure through the city of Sterling Heights and Velocity and the whole network, it all made sense. But where the gratitude is, very much appreciated. We very much appreciate being recognized, and it was an overwhelming feeling, actually. It was like, wow.
And I know we have members from Imaggio here. Join me in congratulating, stand up, join me in welcoming, congratulating the team from Imaggio. Thank you to both Imaggio and DuoCare on the awards you received this morning. Now, Sterling Heights continues to be a destination for businesses of all types, as you can see. We have a talented workforce, we have affordable housing, and we are conveniently located in Metro Detroit. We know from surveys of business owners that the amenities I highlighted earlier today and the services that we offer as a city attract businesses to be here and invest, employ our residents, and enhance our local economy. Their physical presence here in Sterling Heights improves the quality of life for every resident. Now, I know at the beginning of this section I told you that I was going to be speaking metaphorically about physical touch and leave it at that. But I kind of lied, okay? My wife and I, we have a very special relationship with one member of our family who loves to jump on our laps, have his belly rubbed, have his face scratched, and of course I'm talking about our lovely family dog, Monty. Now, is there anything better than giving and receiving physical attention from a dog? It's really one of life's pure joys. This past year, the city of Sterling Heights welcomed a new canine officer to our police department who may not track down any bad guys, but his job is just as important. Let me introduce you to Toby. Toby is the police department's first ever comfort dog. Toby is a 1-year-old Cavapoo under the direction of his handler, Detective Maureen Murphy. And Toby's job description includes being cute. And so as you can see behind me, he's really knocking it out of the park, and I hear he's in line for a significant bonus this year. I think we can all agree that our police officers have an incredibly demanding, difficult, and dangerous job. Toby's role, I should say, is to just be there for our officers, cheer them up, refresh them when their spirits are low, provide some much-needed stress relief for our officers and staff. And just look at him. No matter what you've seen or dealt with during your shift, Toby's smiling face and friendly disposition is sure to improve your mood. But even though he won't be sniffing out any bad guys, he can track the scent of a doggy treat as good as any canine officer in the country. Now, we have a special treat today. Join me in welcoming Toby and Detective Murphy. Come on up here. Toby is as cute as can be, and he wants to come on stage. I'll take him up here. So say hi to Toby. I joke, we had Toby at our council meeting recently, and that's a good boy. We had Toby at our council meeting recently, and I suggested that whenever we have some controversial items on the council agenda, it might be good to have Toby there in the middle of the night when we're finishing up our council meeting. So one more big round of applause for Toby and Detective Murphy. I want to thank them again. It is important work that Detective Murphy is doing to keep our police officers in the right headspace. Now, the fourth love language I'd like to talk about today is acts of service, which is simply described as doing something for your partner that you know they would like. As a city, our entire purpose is to serve. But to sustain a partnership, both partners should be serving each other, right? And in Sterling Heights, we have hundreds, if not thousands, of employees, contractors, and volunteers who serve the city as well. Take, for instance, Nathan Inks. He lives in Sterling Heights with his wife Meredith and their new baby boy, born just about 3 months ago. He works full-time for the state of Michigan, and in his spare time, he serves on our Planning Commission and our Sustainability Commission.
So sustainability can sometimes seem overwhelming, but every resident can do a little bit, and every little bit helps, whether it's reducing our greenhouse gas emissions or ensuring that people are recycling or making sure that we're not polluting our rivers and streams. Even though that might just be one person doing one thing, over time and across a community as large as Sterling Heights, that adds up and really helps to make our community a better place and the world a better place.
Now, Nathan is a major contributor to our city's sustainability efforts, but what I really like about his comments there is his understanding that every resident can make a big difference through small acts of service, and it all adds up. Here in Sterling Heights, a major service improvement was implemented back on May 1st. Starting in May, Priority Waste took over as the city's new trash hauling contractor. But more than just that, Sterling Heights has finally adopted universal curbside recycling, giving every resident the ability to conveniently recycle without having to pay a subscription fee or drive to a recycling center. Now, since implementing universal curbside recycling, DPW Director Michael Moore reports that the city's recycling increased by more than 400%, resulting in nearly 2,000 tons of solid waste being diverted from landfills in the first 3 months alone. And in partnership with Public Works Commissioner Candace Miller, our DPW works hard to ensure our waterways are clean and safe. This past year, the city added to its EV fleet with new vehicles that are environmentally friendly and save taxpayers money. And another small step that the city took to be more environmentally friendly this past year and save money for taxpayers was the installation of rain sensors for city irrigation. As Nathan said, these are small steps, but they add up over time and contribute to a better city and better world for all of us. And while Nathan is one of our more visible volunteers, the city is blessed to have thousands of regular residents like Nathan, making large and small contributions to improve the quality of life for every resident. For example, the Sterling Heights Drug-Free Coalition has had another successful year serving some of our most vulnerable residents. Coalition is made up of residents, police officers, elected officials, and other volunteers who give of their time to help individuals struggling with addiction and the families affected by substance abuse. And our police department continues to expand on the very successful Quick Response Team, which provides a compassionate response to residents struggling with addiction. I'm extremely proud that Sterling Heights was one of the first Metro Detroit communities to adopt this policy, which has since been implemented by countless other departments across the state. And this past year, under the leadership of District Court Judge Anne-Marie Lepore, several residents graduated from Sobriety Court. Sobriety Court is a diversion program within the District Court. It pairs a peer recovery coach with a criminal offender who provides mentorship and guidance to individuals struggling with substance abuse problems. Programs like these are just a few of the examples of how the city of Sterling Heights is serving its residents, and just as importantly, if not more importantly, how regular residents are serving their city as well. In this past year, our fire department has been busier than ever serving the city of Sterling Heights. Whether it's fighting fires or providing life-saving services to residents suffering from medical emergencies, our firefighters are heroes who save lives nearly every day. This past year, the fire department awarded its 22nd Survivor Coin. On April 24th, Cole Renee was working when he was electrocuted and fell 6 feet off of his ladder. A colleague trained in CPR rushed to his aid until the Sterling Heights Fire Department arrived, provided life-saving care. He was transported to Corwell Hospital in Troy, where later that night he was alert and able to talk with family members. That ceremony was held at City Hall to celebrate Cole's return to health and the aid he received from a regular citizen, the fire department, and the hospital staff working together. Stories like these are worth highlighting, but every day our fire department is serving our residents like Cole and putting their lives at risk to save others. Under the leadership of Chief Kevin Edmonds, the fire department undertook a comprehensive strategic planning process this past year to guide it through the coming years. And when you're as busy as the fire department has been recently, it makes it difficult to be proactive. It's hard enough for our fire department to just keep up with the service demand. So I thank every firefighter for their incredible service to this community and the long-term commitment to optimizing emergency response services for the benefit of our residents. But I want, yeah. But I want to go back to the survivor coin for a minute. So the woman standing next to Cole, her name is Darla Marie. She is just a regular citizen. I don't even think she's a resident of Sterling Heights. She's just a regular citizen who took the initiative to be trained in CPR. She took time to learn CPR, even though the odds of her ever really even having to use it is very, very low. But that small sacrifice paid off in a huge way by helping to save Cole's life. As Nathan Inc. said, these small acts of service by regular residents show a true love for our community, and they add up over time. We are blessed to be served by countless volunteers, including a new set of volunteers identified through a partnership with Utica Community Schools called Project Search. Project Search will be bringing 6 adaptive interns to City Hall to volunteer at the Parks and Recreation Department, giving the city a more inclusive workforce and providing valuable job skills to these young volunteers. They're joining a robust group of volunteers who serve the city not for money or recognition, but simply to make it a better place to live and work. These volunteers include, but are not limited to, the Community Emergency Response Team, the Sterling Heights Initiative for Neighborhood Excellence, Citizens on Patrol, and more. We honor our volunteers at an annual dinner every fall. And this year, I'm certain we will have special recognition for a great city volunteer and even better person. This is Scott Van Leuven. Scott has been volunteering with our COPS program, which stands for Citizens on Patrol, for the past 15 years. Scott is one of the leaders of this group, who you may recognize from their bright orange shirts that you see at city events throughout the year. They are the city's eyes and ears, keeping watch for any situation where a resident might need assistance. I've personally seen Scott traveling in his COPS vehicle with his partner, assisting a disabled motorist on the side of the road. And just this last month, Scott was driving home from work when he saw an incident unfolding at a city park. He saw a woman struggling with another driver, her legs hanging out of the passenger window. Scott's instincts were to rush to the scene to assist. What he found was a young man trying to abduct a 7-year-old child. Scott positioned his truck to block the perpetrator from exiting the park. He then confronted the criminal, removed him from his vehicle, and held him until police officers arrived. Now, we honored Scott at a recent city council meeting for his heroism and bravery. Scott rushed to the scene without knowing whether his life was in danger. Scott's quick thinking and heroic actions led to the young girl being reunited with her aunt and eventually her parents. Scott's not here today, but please join me in thanking and congratulating Scott Van Leuven. Scott's story is extraordinary, and it should be inspiring to you. I know it is to me. He loves Sterling Heights, and he shows it every day through acts of service, which itself is a gift to our community.
From my deep heart, you have a very wonderful community, and it's a very rich community by the different cultures, different backgrounds. This makes this city so amazing. This makes this community so amazing.
So people like Scott are the reason we have a great community, and as you saw from Mayor Nouri, it doesn't go unnoticed. That clip is from Mayor Rami Nouri from Ankawa, Iraq, who I'm excited to highlight in just a moment. But before I do that, let me tell you we are now on to our last love language, which is giving gifts. Now, nearly every Sterling Heights employee gives a gift by working here. They sacrifice something to work here. They could make more money somewhere else. Every volunteer who sacrifices their time to serve here gives of their time as well. These sacrifices are a gift to the city of Sterling Heights, and the city repays that love by giving what we can to make this a better city for every citizen. Now, this past year, the city continued its reforestation efforts by planting countless trees in public parks and neighborhoods. And if passed, the Pathways Initiative highlighted earlier will provide millions of dollars in funding for new trees citywide. And just this last week, city officials broke ground on major park improvements over at Nelson Park. These improvements at Nelson Park will include the first ever community garden, where residents will be able to grow fruits and vegetables themselves. And the city will also construct and maintain its first ever butterfly conservatory at Nelson Park. Parkgoers will be able to peacefully enjoy butterflies in this soon-to-be constructed enclosed space. And hopefully, you've noticed select pieces of artwork featured throughout the city's public places. These outdoor displays of art are made possible through a partnership with the Detroit Institute of Arts through its Inside Out program. Public art is one of the great gifts that this city council has identified as a way to improve the vibrancy of our community, foster better understanding and connections with our own residents. The city's commitment to public art is on full display throughout the city, and especially now in the North Van Dyke district with the colorful new mural on the Zap Zone building next to the Chaldean Community Foundation's mixed-use development. Speaking of the Chaldean Community Foundation, its president, Martin Manna, recently helped facilitate a sister city partnership between Sterling Heights and the city of Ankawa in Iraq. After formal adoption by the city council last month, Ankawa Mayor Rami Nouri and I met at the Chaldean Community Foundation 2 weeks ago for a ceremonial signing of this sister city pact. Mayor Nouri has made 2 trips to Sterling Heights in recent months to learn more about our city, and I committed and look forward to traveling to Iraq to tour Ankawa soon. Now, Ankawa is the largest Chaldean majority city in Iraq. Sterling Heights likely has the largest population of Chaldeans living anywhere in the United States. So this partnership is a natural fit, and it promises to be more than just ceremonial. We will work with our partners in Ankawa to increase educational opportunities, drive economic development, and better serve the residents who call Ankawa and Sterling Heights home. I want to thank Megan Ahern and Kirill Edinoff from City Administration for their incredible work in establishing this meaningful partnership. Now, every year I have the honor of delivering this address, but I'm just one member of a team of literally thousands and thousands of people. I couldn't possibly thank all of them, but I do want to highlight just a few. As always, thank you to my colleagues on the City Council for your love of Sterling Heights and your passion for Sterling Heights. Please join me as I recognize the members of City Council, starting with our Mayor Pro Tem, Liz Surowski. Councilman Henry Yanez, thank you for being here. Councilwoman Deanna Koski. Councilwoman Barb Zarko. And Councilman Michael Radke. Councilwoman Maria Schmidt couldn't be here, and I won't forget that. No, I'm just kidding. I love Councilwoman Maria Schmidt. She works for our Warren Consolidated Schools, and she is out serving. So I thank her for her partnership as well. Well, we've talked about all of the 5 love languages, and I am into my thank yous portion of the speech, so if you're paying attention, I think you know what that means. The morning hour is getting late. I hope you've enjoyed hearing about what we're working on in Sterling Heights and how we show our love for this community. But if you've just been patiently waiting for the speech to end, believe me, I'm right there with you. Nobody is more excited when this speech is over than me. Now, I say that sort of tongue-in-cheek. I love doing this. I love serving. I love being able to talk about the city of Sterling Heights and tell you what we've been working on. But this is a lot of work. It's a big production. So I want to take a moment to thank my State of the City team. We've been meeting weekly since the end of July, and I could not do this without them. First and foremost, to our Community Relations Director, Melanie Davis, thank you for coordinating everything that you see here. Melanie is great. She doesn't just develop a vision for the speech, but also for this city, so I thank her for that. I want to thank Stacy Zarko from Connect Macomb and Marissa Russo from Community Relations for your creative input. Thank you. I want to especially thank Marissa Russo for letting us use our home in that opening video. She's the one that had the pink door, which I think is great, by the way, Marissa. I love the pink door. Thank you to Bob Surgott and Dan Rizek for producing all the videos that you've seen behind me today. And if there's anyone happier when this is over than me, it's Dan Rizek. Let me tell you, last week Dan was working on these videos, and I got an email from him at 10:33 p.m. on a Friday night, which also happened to be his day off. So if this event was a success, it is because of Dan Rizek. Thank you, Dan. I also want to thank our city manager, Mark Vanderpool, all the city directors who helped give input. Thank you to all our directors that gave input for the content of today's speech. Special thank you to our Parks and Recreation Director, the best in Michigan, for hosting us today, Kyle Langloy. Thank you, Kyle. I want to thank Tonic, the guys behind the scenes, and girls. They do a great job providing the audio-video equipment, and their expertise is invaluable. I want to thank all the other elected officials who are here today. And if there's anything we want more than this speech to end, it's this election to end. But I wish you all good luck. Thank you. We got a standing ovation on that one. Thank you. Thank you to my wife, Christina, and my children, Hudson and Clara, who are here. Teddy couldn't be here. He has a field trip today. He's going to the zoo. I don't blame him. I really don't blame him. Thank you for putting up with my cranky attitude over these past several weeks, and I love you all very much. Most importantly, thank you to the residents of Sterling Heights for your love of this city, especially those of you who serve on a board or commission or volunteer in some formal or informal way. You are the reason that we all do what we do. Serving you is our purpose, and it's what makes this more than just a job. The 7 of us on City Council, the city administration, and every city employee strives to make this a city that people can proudly say that they love. And that is what I hope to communicate to you today. I love the city of Sterling Heights. I love being a part of a team that's been recognized for its outstanding work. I love spending quality time with family and friends at city parks throughout the year. I love being physically present here at our community center, city campus, city hall, our parks, our library, at local businesses, and my neighborhood, and my home. I love serving and giving back to this incredible community. And before I forget, one final thank you to Rich Ruba, who serves on the city's Community Alliance. Rich wasn't really our real estate agent back in 2008, but he played a good stand-in, and he is a real estate agent, so if you need to buy or sell a house, he is your man. Thank you, Rich, for playing the role of our real estate agent in that opening video. Now, back in 2008, Christina and I were lucky to find a perfect home right here in Sterling Heights. 2 homes later, we are now in what I hope is our forever home. We love this city, and we are so grateful for the love that it has given us in return.
Dear Rich, 16 years ago, you helped us find more than just a house. You helped us find a home, a neighborhood, a community. Every day, I'm reminded of how lucky we are to be here in Sterling Heights. We've since moved to a new home, but we stayed right here in the same community. Because Sterling Heights isn't just where we live, it's where we belong. So thank you, Rich, for everything, for helping us find a place to call home, and for making Sterling Heights a place we can truly love.
Hey, Teddy?
Yeah.
I got this letter from Mr. Ruba. Can you go put it in the mail?
Yep.
Make sure he gets it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just about where you live, it's about the community you live within, and that is why we love Sterling Heights. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.